Hi, and greetings on this Thursday, and thank you for being a part of the show, which is not all that hard to do tonight because there's not much to be doing outside, especially if you're catching the early show. I was slogging 1.7 inches of rain when I sat down at this desk, and I am hearing more falling on the rooftop as we speak, and more in our near future, and that's tonight, and that is tomorrow as well. A cold front, of course, causing all this precipitation, or leading to, at least in a great part of this precipitation, but a warm, humid mass of air still in place through tomorrow. It is after tomorrow that will clear up, will dry out, and will cool off, and will stay that way for days on end. But we'll talk about total rainfall estimates, any potential flooding problems, and other issues with a very updated weather forecast in just a few moments. But some much needed rain today. Not a good time to be out in it during that first good old-fashioned gully washer, as I was traveling between here and Johnson County and back and not enjoying any of it. But nevertheless, no auto accidents to report to you as of this hour throughout all the rain today, and the first rain that we've seen in a while. Usually when you see a light of rain, that's not necessarily the case, as that doesn't necessarily slow motorists down, but these big heavy downpours tends to slow everyone down out of necessity, certainly. So we're certainly had nothing to report on that front tonight. Reports, though, tonight will center around, after several attempts, a Magoffin County man's sentence was reduced in federal court today with little bearing on the outcome of his time to be served. We'll talk about that in a second. More arrest, another meth-related arrest, because it's another day here in the viewing area. And I'll share just a bit with you about a special homecoming last night, a prelude of more to come on the story of a very special young lady who is loved, much beloved by, of course, her family and friends, but by community at large. Go into that just briefly tonight, because I am set to talk with them at the first of next week. I think that they are very thankful for all the support they have seen and wanted to express that. I also have a camera at the Magoffin County Fiscal Court meeting that began at 5. May have a bit on that for you tonight, definitely tomorrow, and some other news in that regards all set before I can leave you for the weekend. Going on to headlines for tonight, we'll pick it up with one of our top stories this evening, where today, after several failed attempts over the past several years, a Magoffin County man's sentence was indeed, as I just said, reduced in federal court this morning in the U.S. courthouse in Pikeville. But that reduction in his sentence, due to new sentencing guidelines since his original sentencing, will have little bearing on the outcome of his time, his many years still yet to be served. Pending any unforeseen circumstances, it looks most certain that a Magoffin County man who saw his original sentence reduced earlier today in federal court in Pikeville by a total of 52 months will still more than likely serve the rest of his life in prison. Howard Harlow Back, who in 1991 was sentenced to prison for manslaughter and then later on solicitation to murder and facilitation to arson charges in 2004, was found guilty at the age of 77 in 2013 for conspiring to distribute and distributing oxycodone. Those charges stemming from a DEA, Operation Unite, state and local investigation, where a search warrant was served at his home on February the 29th of 2012, where a quantity of pills and other items were seized by authorities. Then days later, on March the 16th of the same year, 2012, those same departments stopped back on the Mountain Parkway here in Sagersville on another return trip from Florida, where he and others had conspired with each other and were traveling to get pills illegally prescribed to them, and then getting those prescriptions filled and bringing those pills back to Magoffin County for resale. Later, as Back faced trial in January of 2013, he was found guilty on 1 count of conspiracy to distribute oxycodone and 12 counts of distribution of oxycodone after a total 3-day trial in U.S. District Court in Pikeville. In November of that same year, he was sentenced to 22 years and a fine of $526,000, representing himself for much of his trial and sentencing. And while being incarcerated in federal prison, mostly in North Carolina, he has filed several appeals and argued, finally with some success, that he was misrepresented during those court proceedings in which he represented himself after firing his own attorney. On March the 10th of this year, the district court denied Back's motion as to 3 of his claims, but granted the motion on his 4th claim, hence the resentencing hearing earlier today. The original judge in the case of Multipar has gone on to the Court of Appeals. Now, Judge Karen Caldwell, who presided in the case today, cited new guidelines on drug charges in reducing his sentence. His attorney arguing in court today that basically at the age of 81 he shouldn't be spending the majority of his life in prison and had served his time. The judge, however, noted that he was into his mid-70s when he committed the crime and age should not be relevant. And taking all of that into consideration, Judge Caldwell sentenced him from his original sentence of 262 months to 210 months with 10 years of probation following and a $20,000 fine. And with federal guidelines, that means that he would have to serve 17 and a half years of his sentence before being eligible for parole. Now that is from the original serving of his sentence, of which he has now served several years. He's actually been given credit today for 65 months served, meaning he will be eligible for parole in 12 years. And while he has 14 days to appeal this decision, all the other appeals in the case have been denied. Back is still being held in the Pikeville Detention Center. He was originally serving his sentence out in North Carolina, then brought to London, where it was there that court proceedings were originally taking place before being brought to Pikeville. It's uncertain if he will be returned to North Carolina or another facility after being taken from the Pike County Jail. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
Hi, I'm Attorney Jeff Lovely. At my law office, we're determined to offer you and your family outstanding, cost-effective, and responsive legal services. I can help you if you've been injured in a car wreck. I'll be in your corner if you have a DUI or other criminal charges. You can file bankruptcy and stop those harassing phone calls, or I'll fight for you and your children in divorce and custody cases. For all your legal services, contact me when it matters. In Syersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
July is here, and Appalachian Wireless is bringing the heat. We're giving up to $50 off any smartphone of your choosing this month. Samsung Galaxy S8, normally $149.99, now $99.99. Samsung GS7, normally $49.99, now only a penny. That's any smartphone up to $50 off its normal contract price. And it even includes the 128GB and 256GB models. Better hurry as supplies are limited. 2-year agreement required. Better service, bigger savings at Appalachian Wireless, an East Kentucky network company.
Livers or gizzards, gizzards or livers, or you can have both, and you can have them any day of the week, or you can have them for under $5 when they're Friday special at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe. On Fridays, get a liver or gizzard or liver and gizzard dinner for only $4.59, $3.99 after 4 o'clock. Only at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe. Wanting you to have a healthier life means providing access to quality, affordable health care. And to do exactly that, Hope Family Medical Center offers full dental care with Dr. Pratt and his team, a pediatrician team of 3 doctors and nurses and moms, complete health care by family physician Dr. Kelly Pratt and nurse practitioners Mildred Sizemore, Gail Faria, Shannon Conley, and Heather Blair. Behavioral health services with Kimberly Davis, with in-house lab testing and results, in-house x-ray and pharmacy, and all the caring, knowledge, and experience that these medical professionals represent
at Hope Family Medical Center.
Yes, Logan makes the best truck bodies on the market, and they also have a fully stocked warehouse of dump body parts, PTOs, hydraulic pumps, hoists, anything you need to get back on the road. And they are a full-service steel and aluminum service center. They keep I-beam, channel, angle, pipe, round rod, rebar, expanded metal, sheet metal, and aluminum all in stock. And if you've got a big project, they do commercial manufacturing to your specs. Logan, since 1904. Here's another rare find at Gateway Motors. This Subaru Tribeca all-wheel drive loaded with third-row seating and more. and great deals and low payments, most under $200 on units like this '07 Santa Fe all-wheel drive, this 2012 F-150. How about this '08 Yukon all-wheel drive, 90,000 miles, a one-owner, and everything else on the lot at Gateway Motors in Sagersville. 349 cars. Stop by the seasonal shop for the 2 biggest events of the season and find all the help, gifts, and decor you need with baby and wedding registry, something extra special for the new arrival or that little one turning 1 or more, and wedding registry, ideas, and planning for everything from the ceremony to gifts to the home. And the seasonal shop also has thoughtful ways to honor memories of loved ones lost with personal and gravesite decorations that they'll gladly deliver to our local funeral homes. Find something to cherish all your memories at Fraziers Prater Drugs seasonal shop in downtown Sagersville. Several arrests to pass along to you tonight, and before we get to the first one, which is another meth-related arrest here, as we've been covering nearly daily, and I know that I've had the same sentiment that I've said on my own behalf and on behalf of other law enforcement, but today, speaking with arresting officer, Magoffin County Sheriff's Deputy Neil Adams, he is of the like mind. During the many arrests that the Sheriff's Department has made over the past, we'll just say many weeks, for example, very few of them have been pill-related, except for Neurontin, which is being widely abused and is just now a scheduled narcotic as of the 1st of July. But nevertheless, crystal meth has taken over the world on the local level, and that, of course, is not just a local issue. But mind you, that is the predominant drug that is showing up in traffic stops and jail records and, of course, within families who are dealing with such problems, but are definitely of epidemic proportion, as you have seen here in the program, as it is daily. We have similar arrests such as this. While local and state authorities continue to track down the source of crystal meth, which is coming in from somewhere else and not manufactured here, as is or as was, both being correct, the shake and bake meth that we had seen so predominant for so many months, they are also continuing to make just possession arrests as well, as is the case with the arrest of 33-year-old Jared Salyer. The Sheriff's Department, according to citations, responding to a complaint at a residence, with Salyer being charged with possession of a controlled substance in the first for methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. And in other recent arrests, the Sheriff's Department arresting 3 individuals after a traffic stop at the Elk Creek BP yesterday afternoon, stopping a vehicle being operated by Dalton Harvey. Harvey charged with driving under the influence, as well as some other charges that we'll get to in just a second. But a passenger in the front seat was Channing Harvey, and in the rear seat was a Nathaniel Stevens. After questioning by authorities, 25-year-old Dalton Harvey was charged with driving under the influence, no license in possession, and some traffic infractions, but was later charged with promoting contraband in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center after found to be in possession of an unknown drug at this hour. We were unable to get that information before airtime, but for being in possession of a drug upon being booked into the Big Sandy jail, promoting was also added to her list of charges. 25-year-old Frederick Channing Harvey was charged with carrying a concealed deadly weapon, drug paraphernalia, and failure to appear. He had a loaded .380 handgun in a backpack at his side. Also in the backpack, says citations were syringes, square bags similar to those that you would put drugs or methamphetamine in. They were empty, mind you. No drugs on his person, just the bags and drug paraphernalia. While Nathaniel Stevens, 35 years of age, was served with 2 failure to appear arrest warrants, I believe out of Fayette and Magoffin counties. More to come in a few moments. Right now, a few updates and reminders, and maybe a birthday, too, on tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. Yes, a birthday wish today to Denise. With a whole lot of love and best wishes, Denise, from a whole lot of family and friends this Thursday, the 27th day of July. Happy birthday, Denise. They hope you had a wonderful day. On to calendar announcements. A couple of reminders about a couple of school events that we have been made aware of and notified of. Oh, the days quickly counting down. We'll not go there. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. But North Magoffin Elementary's back to school night, in case you're wondering, moms and dads and kids. August the 7th, 4 to 6 o'clock. That's North Magoffin's back to school night, August the 7th. Magoffin County Head Start still enrolling students if your child's going to be 3 or 4 by August the 1st. This is I think I said this yesterday, but we'll probably run this one. Maybe this is the last time to run this for now. So if you need to get your child a head start, if they're at the right age, call 349-3488. Get them enrolled in the Magoffin County Head Start program. Other announcements that are school-related tonight include a couple from South Magoffin Elementary and from the Sagersville Grade School. South Magoffin Elementary has set their open house for August the 3rd. A 3-hour event starting at 3:30, going till 6:30 that evening. That is open house, South Magoffin, August the 3rd. While the Sagersville Grade School's Site-Based Council has a special meeting set for Friday, August the 4th. Now, the agenda here, which I have a copy of, cites only a couple of things: approval of minutes from the previous meeting and discussion and or hiring of the vacant principal position with a closed session to follow. They will be selecting a principal after Principal Willie Cole has gone to be the assistant principal at the Harold Whitaker Middle School officially. And I'll be taking any announcements that you've got. If you just drop them in the mail, email, Facebook, phone, fax, drop them off here at the studio. Any way you can get them in. All you have to do is tell me. I'll tell everyone else. Doesn't cost a thing. And turning to obituaries, a service provided by our friends at the Magoffin County Funeral Home. We've been told that services have now been made and finalized in honor of 78-year-old Jackie Crace of West 460, who passed away on yesterday's date, married to Joanne Robinette Crace, who survives. He's as well survived by his sons, Jack Brent and Matthew George Crace, and daughters Jennifer Conley and Natalie Crace. Visitation is going to be after 6 o'clock this Saturday and up until services that will start Sunday morning at 11 in his honor. Visitation and services from the Magoffin County Funeral Home. Burial follows at the Patrick Lovely Cemetery at Johnson Fork. A tire more than 25% low, about 8 pounds, makes you 3 times more likely, and worn-out tires 11 times more likely to be in a tire-related crash. Don't take your or their safety for granted. Come in for a free inspection, 6 months, no-interest financing, the best price and best selection at Connelly Tire in Staffordsville.
We are all human. Because we're not perfect, we tend to make mistakes. Unfortunately, some mistakes are severe and carry more consequences than others. If you have been hurt in a car wreck, a truck wreck, or because of someone's mistake, reckless or careless behavior, you deserve help with your medical expenses, lost wages, and serious permanent pain and injuries that you have been made to suffer and will continue to suffer for the rest of your life. If you have been injured, I can help. I'm attorney Don Wayne McFarland. Call me and let me go to work for you. 349-9000.
Come by and check out this 2014 Jeep Compass 4x4, and come by and check out this luxurious, roomy, limited 2011 Town & Country. And this row of 2015 and 2016 Nissans and Fords and more, all like new, with low miles starting at $99.95. Check them all out at Broadway Auto Sales in Paintsville. Much more than diesel specialist, Black Smoke Performance is turning out excellent auto body collision paint and repair results with free quotes and estimates on everything from insurance jobs to that ding you got in the driveway. Custom lift kits, bed liners, winches, and accessories, and full diagnostics and repair on anything gas or diesel, from brakes to fluid changes to major auto repair. If you want it fixed, lifted, painted, customized, or just maintained, just call on the team at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville, 100 May Drive, or 349-8785. Get your $10 tickets now for the 14th annual and perhaps biggest community day yet, featuring the incredible Rhonda Vincent and the Rage, and other headliners like the Dave Adkins Band, the Edgar Loudermilk Band with Jeff Autry, Toddy Preston and the Black Powder Express, and many, many, many more. And all the food, fun, games, and fabulous prizes that you can stand, all for just $10. And kids 12 and under, they get in for free. Community Day in the Ramey Park in Sagersville is Saturday, August the 19th. Parkway Pharmacy, now open earlier from 8 a.m. until 6 in the evening to better suit your schedule and lifestyle, and to help you get better and live a healthier life. And if allergies are bogging you down, they're armed with the very best in over-the-counter relief for adults and your children. Reach owner pharmacist Jesse Rudd and his assistant pharmacist Megan Castle and their staff at 8 o'clock in the mornings or at 349-4400. Whether you're going to work, you're going to play, you're going to do both, doesn't matter. As long as you got something going on this summer, they can get what you need to do it for pennies on the dollar at Parkway Gun Pawn. And they will loan you cash today on anything worth $1. Tools, games, musical instruments, new and used long and handguns, ammunition, and more. Parkway Gun Pawn. Well, if you were in the circle, which is a pretty big circle, you knew what all the commotion was about last night. And if you didn't, you're about to. It was about welcoming home a very special young lady whose life and that of her family has been turned upside down for the past several months. But it was with some good news that young Brooklyn Reisner came home last night to basically a hero's welcome. And we were asked to be a very, very, very tiny part of it and capture some video with hopes of adding a little more to the story later next week. I'll get to that in just a second. Ashley and Brian Reisner's youngest, Brooklyn. Well, she and more so their parents got the news that no parent ever wants to hear, in words such as hemophagocystic lymphohistiocytosis. Nothing a parent wants to hear. Not always with a good outcome. But after months of treatment, some stunning news, I think, was received by the family. Some really good news as to her treatment and her outlook. And she came home yesterday to a hero's welcome, welcomed by firemen and policemen and everyone throughout the community, lined up on the streets, literally from Route 30 all the way up in front of the newsroom, over to Mine Fork, and on to their home with gifts and well wishes after an outpouring of support. The fundraisers and rallies that have been held in support of Brooklyn and her parents and her family over the past several months, and it all culminated last night with a very happy little lady, I'm sure, to be home, and just as much as a family happy to have her home. So that's what all the parade was for last night. And I spoke to her grandmother, Michelle, and I think we might be able to hear a few words, and I offered to them if they wanted to share anything with us or with you, please feel free to do so. We might be able to do that, I think, maybe early next week. But for now, just wanted to give you a little idea as to what we hope is going to be a fairy tale ending for Brooklyn and her family. Now, moving on, this is the spot that I had left open for possibly some coverage of the Magoffin County Fiscal Court meeting. That camera's still not in, and possibly another story that we were expecting to break this evening, which has not. So let me say this before we go on to your updated weather forecast, which you need to be aware of because the rain is starting to add up. Nevertheless, the fiscal court coverage, the Big Sandy Regional Jail Authority met this month. Something they don't do every month, but we'll have coverage of that meeting as well. And I've got a list of other reports and some special interviews that will be starting, I believe, on tomorrow's program, hopefully. And we'll have to just leave it at that for now and say more when I see you next time. But for now, your weather forecast definitely is warranted to take a closer look at tonight because, as I said, rainfall totals are starting to add up. We're approaching the 2-inch mark here at the newsroom. Some folks have already surpassed that, and we've still got some more to come. Just think of getting out a few minutes early tonight as like it felt whenever you got out of class 4 or 5 minutes early. Maybe that'll help. I misspoke a second ago. I've already passed the 2-inch mark for rain here at the newsroom just today. That good downpour earlier today, I picked up right about 1.5 inches, and I've got about another 0.6 and adding to it right now. It's starting to wane right now in the viewing area, but as you can see, we've got a few more little spurts to go, and really much more coming from the north and west. It could give us some more showers. As you can see, they kind of build up as they make their way into eastern Kentucky. That pattern or trend will continue throughout the evening to the tune of about a 70% chance of some showers and thunderstorms really up until after midnight or so tonight. I think we've definitely seen the most intense thereof, but we'll be adding to rainfall totals, some folks more than others, but 2.12 inches right now here at the studio and adding up, and we needed the rain. Certainly all the heat has added up. We'll see those showers continue for at least a portion of your Friday too. Temperatures are going to fall, but rain chances are going to stay firm at about 70%. Showers, that means showers likely and thunderstorms possible and likely to tomorrow. Similar setup as today's. It will continue. I think we'll see a little lull in the activity tonight, but then tomorrow we'll see probably a similar setup, I think, as we did today, with 79 degrees expected for daytime highs. By Friday night, the chances will start to wane down to about 50%, and I think that's up until about 10 o'clock or so, with 79, 61 for your high and your low tomorrow. Not quite as active tomorrow, I'm hoping, but very close. Nevertheless, that all should be gone, with the exception of about a 20% chance of some lingering showers through maybe noon or so on your Saturday. We're going to see partly sunny skies, but look what the cold front does thereafter. 75 degrees is our new adjusted daytime high for the first half of your weekend, and 57 the reverse for nighttime lows Saturday night. And then after Saturday afternoon, after we dry up and clear up, we're going to shape up weather-wise and in the forecast period 4 days. 80 and mostly clear and sunny on your Saturday. Nighttime low still in the mid-50s. It's going to be a cool, comfortable night. 82, sunny, a little fog at the onset for pretty much every morning thereafter, starting at the first of next week. But 82, sunny, and mostly clear on your Monday. Tuesday, 84, a little fog, but otherwise sunny, mostly clear. Wednesday and Thursday of next week, still mostly sunny, still temperatures right around 84, 85 degrees. By Thursday night, really that's our first and only chance of any precipitation after tomorrow, well, technically after early Saturday morning, and that's only 20%. You can almost expect to see pretty much a beautiful dry week throughout most all of next week, and that definitely includes this weekend. So with all that said and with all that planned between now and the end of tomorrow night's program and possibly early next week, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful, safe, dry, and comfortable night. We'll see you back here tomorrow for more of Your News Today.